Here we go. Shakopee against Prior Lake. First period, 15 minutes. We're set to go. Brigman on the face-off, back to Wedman. Wedman up to Stevens. Stevens chips it on in. Brigman on the chase. Going around. Here comes Knutson. Knutson can't hold. Comes out of the zone. Back to the middle. And batted in with Carlson. Carlson carries. Carlson's going to walk it out of the zone. Through neutral. Bring it into the zone. Lose control and back the other way it goes. Picked up by Wedman. Wedman walks it in, dumps it in. Shakopee on a change. Ganeri to Schuler. Schuler tried to thread it up to Nelson. Nelson battles near side. It's turned back. And there goes Ganeri. Ganeri takes it around the net. Turns it back the other way. Looks the dish to Esslinger, and it's back to toe check. Toe check goes off the toe of her stick, and it goes all the way down the ice, and it's going to be icing. The first whistle of the period with 13:40 left in the first. Nelson on the face-off. Dump deep into the zone. Wedman retreats. Wedman looks to chip it up to toe check. Toe check. Drops it back to Wedman. Wedman up to Esslinger. Off her stick and turned back the other way. Esslinger battles. And it's dumped in by Prior Lake. Prior Lake looking for a change. Picked up by Carlson. Carlson loses control. Long shot. Malone with the save.
Sir Liquors.
Collins grabs it off the face-off. Chips it up to Telejohn. Telejohn drops it down low. Telejohn battling. Prior Lake overskates it. It's back through. Out of the zone. Schuler goes back to retreat. Schuler looking to throw it up the ice to Collins. Collins looking to give it to Shinnick. Shinnick slammed on the brakes, and it's back to Ganeri. Ganeri behind the net. Turns back the other way to Schuler. Schuler looking to get it up to Collins. Gets tipped, and then it's centered just out of the reach of the Prior Lake forward. Here comes John Choi. John Choi putting some pressure, dumped down low. Turned back the other way by Schuler. Brigman helping out down low, and it's turned out. Stevens up. John Choi to Stevens. Here comes Stevens. Stevens fires one off the pipe, and a save by the Prior Lake goaltender. Down deep, Stevens and John Choi near side. Long shot by Wedman just off the side of the net. Here comes John Choi. John Choi back to the point. Drop down by Wedman just off the stick of Brigman, and it comes out of the zone. Turned back by Annan. Annan looks to chip it up. Back on through, and Wedman's going to pick up and play. Stevens bats it in, and they go on a change. Here comes Nelson. Nelson drops it in, chases, battles down low, coming around the net. Here comes Prior Lake. Esslinger gets a stick on it. Back to the point. Here comes Knutson. Knutson has it in the top. Long shot. Ganeri stopped and turned back. Cam Carlson picks it up, knocked off the stick, comes back out of the zone. Carlson back to Ganeri. Ganeri gets picked off, and it's brought offside. Ganeri, Carlson. Carlson loses control, and Ganeri's there to back her up. Brought out of the zone. Here comes Esslinger. Knutson takes a whack at it, and it's back the other way. Ganeri controls. Ganeri stops. Ganeri near side, looking for Knutson, and gets picked off. Knutson comes back. Knutson's going to carry it. Knutson up to Ganeri. Ganeri turns it back, goes into the zone. Here comes Cam Carlson. Esslinger gets stripped, pushed back. Cam Carlson coming to help out. Here comes Nelson. Nelson up to Knutson. Knutson over to Esslinger, and it goes all the way down, and it's not going to get far enough for an ice, and it's turned back the other way by Prior Lake. Onen turns it back. Chipped up. Toe check, tries to force it out. Onen follows through. Point back up to the point. Centering pass. Here comes Telejon. Telejon gets it out. Telejon stays with it. Telejon carries through the neutral, dumps it down low. Here comes toe check. Toe check, drops it down for Telejon. Telejon cycles it back. Controlling. Tries to chip it up to toe check, and here comes Shinnick. On and drops it down. Back around the net. Here comes toe check, or Telejon again. And it gets through Schuler, and it comes down to the Shakopee zone. Carried in. Good play by Shakopee. Goaltender Malone. Big pad save. Tochek chips it up to Shinnick. Shinnick just bats it out and looking for a change. Shakopee's on a change, and it's brought into the zone. Brought out of zone. Here comes Collins. Collins near side. Collins brings it in, turns it back. Collins tries to get it back to Brigman, and it turns back the other way. Up to Collins. Collins to Brigman. Brigman loses control. Brought back by Collins. Collins back to Wedman. Wedman looking to get it back to Collins. Collins brings it into the zone. Collins threads the needle to Stevens. Stevens fires one, and it's gloved down. Good save by the goaltender for Prior Lake. Nelson wins the faceoff back to Carlson. Carlson tries to take a shot on net, gets tipped aside, goes to Esslinger. Esslinger carries, Esslinger shoots off John Shoy's skate as she goes and retreats, forces it back up to Cam Carlson. Backhand by Esslinger and puts it right into the red basket of the Prior Lake goaltender. Good grade A opportunity there by Esslinger, but couldn't find the back of the net. 7:02 left in the first. Prior Lake's going to do a late change here, get some fresh legs. Nelson John Choi, Carlson, long shot, tipped aside. Wedman steps up, banks it around the boards, gets it to Esslinger. Esslinger looks to get it back to the point, gets tipped, and Carlson just dumps it back in. And here comes Prior Lake the other way. Shakopee strung out along the red line there, playing good D. And here comes Wedman. Wedman looks to bank it up to John Choi just out of her reach. And it's forced around to the other side. Carlson up to Esslinger. Esslinger playing far side. Shakopee close to having too many on the ice there. And here comes Carlson. Carlson tries to get it up to Telejohn. Telejohn back to Carlson. Carlson sweeps it back around. Picked up by Knutson. Knutson carries. Knutson. And it's tipped. Big save by Malone. Back to the point. Long shot. Stopped by Wedman. Wedman gets it up to Knutson. Knutson takes control. Knutson up to Telejohn. Telejohn battling far side. Telejohn and Shinnick battling on the far side boards. Kept in by Knutson. Knutson carries. Knutson kicked it up to her skate. Gets it down to Shinnick. Shinnick loses control. Tried to get a quick shot off there. Knutson back out to Telejohn, and it gets tipped on its way. Ganeri, long shot. Tipped up in the air. And it comes out of the zone. It goes all the way down. And Ganeri goes to retrieve. Ganeri has room. Ganeri's going to skate it. Ganeri chips it up, and it's chipped back the other way. Schuler battles on the near side boards. Comes out of the neutral zone. Stevens up to Brigman. Brigman gets poke check, and that's going to be offsides. 4:42 left in the first period. 0-0 game. 3 shots for 3 shots. Game's pretty even, back and forth. Brigman back to Ganeri. Ganeri backhands to Steven. Brigman goes, grabs the puck across the blue line. Long shot. Pad save. Barreling down was Tocek, but couldn't get the stick on the puck. Here comes Tocek, kept in by Ganeri, and it's coming out of the zone. Here comes Prior Lake the other way. Schuler pushing to the outside, cut back to the inside, and it's picked up by Prior Lake. Back to the point, held in, pressured by Brigman, and Ganeri grabs again. Ganeri gets it up to Tocek. Tocek tries to get it out of the zone and is stopped by number 24. Ganeri turns it back the other way. Up to Tocek. Tocek too hot to handle. And Brigman grabs. And it's turned back. Shakopee having a little trouble getting out of the zone. Brigman just going to force it on down. Here comes Stevens. Stevens battling for the loose puck. Chip back up the boards, back the other way. Shakopee looking to push her play off the puck. Collins is going to go away for a check. And Malone with a glove save. Shakopee is going to go away for one. Collins on check. And it goes back to the point. Long shot. Wedman steers that aside. And here comes Prior Lake on the power play. Back to the point. To the point. Long shot. Wedman, another block shot. Wedman ices it down the ice. Good play there by Wedman. Esslinger pressuring Shinnick on the backside. Shinnick just pushes it back into the neutral. And it goes back to Anand. Anand has time. Anand just fires it back on down the ice.
Go.
Here comes Prior Lake back the other way. Prior Lake brings it across the line. Turns it back. Picked off there for a second by Telejohn. And Schuler over to help. There's Telejohn. Forces it down. Prior Lake on a change. We got a 45 left on the penalty kill. And here we go back the other way. Nelson on the chase. Nelson battles, and that's going to be an offsides. And Nelson dumps the player. No penalty called. Good play by Nelson. And that's another offsides by Prior Lake. Costly offsides here early on for Prior Lake. They're eating up time off their power play with 31 seconds left. 4-4 on the shots, 0-0 on the game. 1:45 left in the game for the first period. Schuler, long shot, looking for a centering pass, and Nelson was there to bottle up her player. Back to the point. Long shot. Malone smothers it. And there's going to be 8 seconds left on the power play for Prior Lake. Brigman on the face-off. 8 seconds left. Goes back to the point. Going to be one last shot off the side of the net. And that's about to do it. And it's going to be tried to be cleared by Cam Carlson. And Brigman battling on the near side boards. And that's going to be a penalty on Brigman. We are at Prior Lake. Refs can be a little impartial. And that's some home cooking there. Brigman goes away for 2 minutes into the sin bin. Face off. Shockby's going to have to kill another 2 minutes here. And it's back on through. Scooped up by Malone. Malone playing a good game early on here. 7 shots, 7 saves. Minute 52 on the penalty kill for Shockby. Stevens picks it up. Whiffed on it for a sec. And it's picked up by Anand. Throwing all the way down. Ooh, there goes Shinnick. Shinnick almost had an opportunity. Grab a loose puck. Back the other way. Into the zone. Turned back by Prior Lake. Back to the point. D. And Stevens sticks her nose in it. Stevens on a foot race. Stevens is battling near side corner. Stevens just killing time here. And there's 13 seconds left in the period. And it comes back up the ice. Picked off by Shinnick. Shinnick had an opportunity there to do something. And it's stripped away, and Shinnick's going to go down. And Shinnick's going to draw a penalty there. Shinnick's going to draw a penalty at the end of the period there. And Shakopee is going to go 4-on-4 for the second period. They have 58 seconds of 4-on-4, and then they'll go 1 minute and 2 seconds on the power play. And here we go. We got a barn burner here in Prior Lake. 4-on-4 early on. Carlson to Wedman. Wedman up to Telejohn. Telejohn tries to feed it through the skates and just dumps it in deep. Prior Lake coming back the other way. Shinnick gets a skate on it, gets turned back the other way. Shinnick just forces it back through. It is 4-on-4. And it comes back through neutral, dumped in deep by Prior Lake. Wedman back to retreat. Wedman tried to get it up to Telejohn. Long shot, tipped aside. Here comes Carlson. Carlson battles, gets it up to Shinnick. Shinnick carries, gets stripped back the other way. Here comes Wedman. Wedman's going to dump it in on goal and look for a rebound. Wedman goes into the boards, gets up. Long shot by Carlson. And here comes Knutson. Knutson gets poke checked. Shinnick drops it back down to Knutson. Knutson looking to get it back to the point. Wedman. And it's going to be shot all the way down. Shockley's on the power play now. And Carlson carries. Carlson tries to bank it up to Toczek. And here comes Toczek. Toczek across the line. Tries to thread one over to Knutson. Gets poke checked aside. Anand tries to hold it in. And it's forced all the way back down into the Shockley zone with 13:04 left in the period. 3 seconds left in the power play. Toczek picks it up far side board. Toczek over to Knutson. Knutson's going to corral. Knutson carries it in. And drops it in. And back the other way. Schuler to Knutson. Knutson's going to carry. Knutson was hooked there, no call. Knutson's going to drop it in all the way. Shockley on a change. Forced in. Turned back by Schuler. Schuler pokes it up the boards. Picked off by Prior Lake. And here comes Brigman. Shockley has numbers. Brigman over to John Troy. John Troy fires one up over the netting. And it's back to the point. Jumps over the stick of Ganeri. And here comes Carlson. Carlson's going to skate all through neutral. Loses control for a second and gains control back to Esslinger. Esslinger, long shot, wide, and picked up by John Troy. John Troy drops it down low to Brigman. Brigman. And it's forced back around all the way to the point. Here comes Cam Carlson. Long shot, off a skate, and wide. Picked off by Esslinger. Esslinger looks to get it up to Brigman. Brigman stick handles around, tries to feed John Troy back on the goal mouth, and it's pushed aside. John Troy back to the point. Long shot. Shockley controlling the zone. That's brought back to Cam Carlson, and that's out of the reach. It goes all the way down, held behind the net there by Malone. And Ganeri battles low with Cam Carlson, centered, picked up by Shinnick, and Shinnick exits the zone. John Troy tries to force it down through, hits a skate, and then Shinnick does the rest. And that's going to be forced all the way down, and they're going to be an icing on Prior Lake. Back to the point, long shot by, I thought Anand was back to Wedman. Wedman takes a shot off a skate and back. Here comes out of the zone. A little hot to handle. Wedman goes behind the goal. turns it back the other way. Wedman up to Telejohn. Telejohn to Collins. Collins tries to get it off the backhand, and here comes Wedman. Wedman carries it into the zone, bumps it off the boards, and plays behind the net. Back to the point. Long shot, stick to side. Back to the point, on and can't hold it in, and it comes all the way through. That slinger back to the point. Dropped around. That slinger pressures. And back out of the zone we go. Deep into the Shockby zone, Ganeri knifes it around. Here comes Nelson. Nelson turns it back. Nelson back to Schuler. Schuler has room. Schuler gets picked off, and it's dropped down low. Prior Lake gains control. Prior Lake drops it back with Nelson and Ganeri pestering. Back out of the zone. S-Slinger. That Slinger gains control. Loses it, and it's turned back. Here comes Prior Lake, back the other way. Centering pass, goes through. Toe check tries to chip it back up to Nelson. Picked up by Nelson. Nelson fires it off the corner board, and that's going to be toe check icing it, saying we need a change. 8:21 left in the second period. 7-6 are shots. Advantage Lakers, 0-0 game. Onen forces it around. Here comes Knutson. Back to the point, long shot, wide. And Ganeri, or that's John Choi battling on the near side. Here comes Brigman down low. Brigman chips it on out past John Choi with Knutson on the chase. Knutson up, back the other way. That's going to be offsides. Prior Lake's going to tag up, and Cam Carlson circles back around. Cam Carlson loses control. Backhand, big save by Malone. Exiting pass, and that's going to be froze by Malone. Back to the point. Long shot, wide. Here comes Collins. Collins chips it. Tries to get it around. Gets it out of the zone, and there goes Telejohn. Telejohn's on a foot race. Telejohn has room. Telejohn tries to center it. Tries to stuff it. And it's back. Collins back to the point. Schuler, long shot. Tip down in front, and it comes back the other way. Ganeri goes back to retreat. And that's going to be an ice. Shinnick on the face-off. 6:52 left in the period, 0-0. And it's back, held in by Ganeri. Good hold by Ganeri. Ganeri drops it down low. Telejohn battles down low. Shockley a little bit too many below the net, and it comes back the other way. Move your feet! Back up the ice, goes the other way. Shockley's got to move their feet. And it's held in. Here comes Prior Lake up the near side, dropped in deep. Picked up by Anand. Anand got her pocket pick, and big save by Malone. Got turned back the other way, and Malone making another good save. Back to the point, drop down low. Here comes Esslinger. Esslinger near side. Esslinger brings it in his zone. That's going to be onside. And toe check playing down in the corner. Centered, back the other way, Prior Lake. Wedman picks up the puck. Wedman walks it in. Tries to get one on net, and it's tipped back the other way. That's going to be nice. 5:22 left in the second period. Shakopee has 2 shots this period thus far. 9-6. Prior Lake's advantage. Shakopee's got to get their feet moving. Ooh, a risky play by Prior Lake to bring that back to in front of the net. Here's Knutson. Knutson battling near side. Knutson gets it up to Brigman. Brigman. And it's turned back the other way. Back through neutral. Here we go. Referee in the way. And John Choi just forces it back and goes on the forecheck. John Choi back to the point. Ganeri. Long shot tipped to the corner. Knutson picks up. Knutson has control. Knutson circles. Knutson has room. Knutson drops it back to Ganeri. Ganeri long shot. Wide. And it's back for Carlson. And Knutson is battling near side corner. And that's going to be forced all the way down, and that's going to be another ice. Shakopee looking to get a couple more shots on net here with 4:24 left in the second period. Long shot, tipped aside. Anand with a shot, had a lane to shoot through. Schuler tries to hold it, jumps the stick, and back for Anand. Anand off the boards, up to Telejohn. Telejohn looks to get it back to Shinnick, and Shinnick is battling, brought into the zone. Shinnick loses control and gains control. Here comes Shinnick. Shinnick battling down low. Gets pushed off the puck. Here comes Schuler. Schuler coming way down into the zone, keeping it in, and it's back to the point. On in, long shot, tip, Collins, and a big save by the goaltender. Nelson back to the point, long shot, tipped aside there by Carlson, and Wedman goes back. Wedman circles back the other way, chips it up on her backhand to Esslinger. Esslinger looks to feed Nelson just through the stick. Nelson drops it down deep with toe check and Esslinger on the forecheck. 3:03 left in the period. Cam Carlson pinches up, and it comes back the other way. Wedman. Toe check tried to feed Nelson, and Wedman picks up after Malone's save. Drop down. Wedman once again. Third time's the charm. Oh! A long shot. Off the pipe. Wedman back around. Fourth time's the charm. All right, here we go. Toe check out. Toe check. Looking to get a change. Dumps it in. Esslinger looking to press. 2:13 left in the second period. Here comes Prior Lake back the other way. Schuler with a great defensive play. Knutson coming off the bench like a rocket. Carries it in. Looks control. And it's around to John Troy. John Troy tried to center Brigham in, and it just jumps the stick, and it's turned back the other way. Prior Lake controls, centering pass, tipped aside there by John Choi. Back the other way with pressure from Knutson and John Choi. Whiffed there by Prior Lake. And it's brought through the neutral, brought into the zone, around Schuler. Backhand, wide. 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Brigman goes into the corner. And it's forced around with Schuler going on the retrieve. Batted out by John Choi with pressure from Knutson. 49 seconds. Knutson battling. Knutson is going to go away. Don't like that penalty either, but she's going to go on a hold. Here comes Telejohn the other way. Telejohn with a burst of speed, brings it in, fires just over the blocker of the goaltender. Nice speed by Telejohn, nice shot. Just didn't see the back of the net. 21 seconds left in the period. Back behind the net. Out to the point, long shot. Malone gobbles it up with 7.5 left on the clock. Back to the point. And that's going to do it for time for this period. Let's see. It looks like they're resurfacing again, so you have a 12-minute break. Go do your thing. Prior Lake on the power play for a minute 15. Third period. 11-8 shots. Prior Lake's advantage, 0-0 game. Back to the point. Long shot. Gobble up by Malone. Long shot. And smothered up by Malone again. 52 seconds left on the power play for Prior Lake. Back to the point. It looked like they're going. Here they go. Wedman battling. And Shakopee just keeping Prior Lake to the outside, letting them burn their minutes. And here comes Shinnick. Shinnick has a loose puck. Shinnick's going to get to the puck first. Shinnick walks it in. Long shot. Off the mask. And a good opportunity there by Shinnick. Back out of the zone. Here comes Carlson. Carlson gets it over to Schuler. Schuler's going to drop it in, and that's going to do it for the penalty on Knutson. Behind the net, here comes John Troy. John Troy centers it to Brigman. Brigman had an opportunity there and goes from putting one in to catching her skate of Prior Lakes. And it was a accidental penalty, but it's going to go away for tripping Brigman. Knutson on the face-off. Knutson. Schuler gets it out of the zone. And here we go again. Once again, Shakopee on the penalty kill. Back to the point. Schuler, long shot. Tip. John Troy, nice tip. Off the pad to the corner. And Prior Lake comes back the other way. Prior Lake carries it in the zone. Back. Good save there by Malone. And we got to move our audio visual down. Nelson. Esslinger pushes it out. 1:22 left on the penalty. Back to the point. Held in by Nelson, and it's thrown back around the net. Esslinger battling far side. And back out of the zone, Prior Lake goes. Nelson. Centering pass. Slot. Off the glove of Malone. Anand battling down below the net. And Cassie Holly joining the party for the third period. Missed to the first and second, but she's back out. Here comes Holly. Holly battling near far side board. There's a block for Holly. Holly, 23 seconds left on the power play of Prior Lake. Centering pass. Holly tying her player up in front. Poke check by Malone. And Shakopee's full strength. Here comes toe check. Toe check. Centering pass. Here comes Esslinger. Esslinger forces it out. And now she's on a race. Esslinger battling far side corner to the point. Drop down low. Toe check going to battle. Forced around, picked up by Prior Lake. And exiting his zone, picked up by Wedman. Wedman walks it in. Wedman forces it up. Wedman. Shot. Wedman looking for 5-hole. And it's saved by the Prior Lake goaltender. Face-off won by Shinnick. Picked up by Tochek. Tochek didn't see the player behind her. Tried to get it back up to Wedman, and it's picked off and going back the other way. That's off the Prior Lake stick, but that's going to be an icing. Brigman on the face-off. Cam Carlson coming in like a wrecking ball. And battling in the far side corner. Centered. John Choi tries to feed Knutson at the other side. Just out of the reach of Knutson. Here comes Schuler. Schuler looks to stop. John Choi with a shot. And back the other way. Knutson gets checked into the boards, and that's going to be a penalty on Prior Lake for checking. And finally, Shakopee gets one. It's been a while. Shakopee needs one more. Shakopee only has 4. We need another! Hey! One more! Shakopee needs... Shakopee was short one. You guys gotta get walkie-talkies over there. Back to the point. Drop down low. Collins just off her stick. Collins picks it up. Collins looks to circle around. Collins stick handles through. Backhand, big pad save. Telejohn there on the rebound, and that's going to be forced all the way down. Here comes Cam Carlson, wound up. Loses control, and it's turned back. Prior Lake. Back to the point. Dropped in. Centering. Back to the point. Off. That's going to be high sticking. Shinnick winning the face-off. Gennari going back. 8:41 left in the period. 58 seconds left on the power play. Shinnick picks up the loose puck. Brings it up far side by the player benches. Into the zone. Turn back the other way. Anand's just going to dump it in. Shakopee on a tag up. And it's dumped all the way down by Prior Lake. Anand kept in. Forced back down by Prior Lake. Shakopee having a little trouble getting things going. And they got about 8 minutes to do it. Wedman. Shinnick. And it's back the other way once again. Anand. Gennari. John Choi. John Choi is going to carry it into the zone. John Choi back to Gennari. Gennari on the point. Gennari going to take a long shot. Oh, just whistled wide. Shinnick back to the point. Onen, long shot. And a goal! Onen taking a long shot through traffic. Might have did a one-hopper through the 5-hole and in the net for Shakopee. A power play goal with 2 seconds left on the power play. 7:44 left in the game. And the shots are looking to be coming back for Shakopee, 15-15. Onen with a blast from the point. 1-0 Shakopee. 7:44 left in the period. Here comes John Shoy. John Shoy's going to dump it in. And goes in with a hard forecheck. Battling. Knutson fires one off the pipe. And looks like Shakopee's got a little energy here. And it's back into the zone. Brigman headed off there by Knutson, back to the point. Holly jammed it down. Picked up by Brigman. Brigman back to Knutson. Knutson taking a long shot. Tipped aside. Picked up by Prior Lake. Prior Lake tries to get it out of the zone, and it's turned back the other way. There's Knutson. Knutson causing all problems there. And it's picked up by Holly. Holly's tried to make a move there. Came off her stick, and it gets turned back the other way. To the point, long shot. Tipped there off Holly's stick and out of the path of the net. And it's up to Esslinger. Esslinger carries it out of the zone. Got stripped there for a second, and then here comes Nelson off the bench like a bull in a china shop, and it's back the other way. Here comes Cam Carlson. Carlson around the Knutson. Knutson gets dumped, and that's going to be a penalty on Prior Lake. And things have shifted the other way. The refs are liking Shakopee in the third. Knutson gets dumped, draws that penalty, and Shakopee's going to be on the power play with 6:02 left in the third. Shinnick behind the net. Shakopee looking to get another one and put this away. Shinnick fires one off the stick and wide. Wedman picks up. Wedman looks to get it over to Shinnick. And Wedman back with the puck. Wedman back to Shinnick. Shinnick shot. Picked up by Wedman again. Wedman drops it to Shinnick. Shinnick back to Wedman. Wedman puts it off the top of the goaltender's chest protector. Picked up by Wedman again. Wedman walks it in, shoots it wide. Turned back the other way, back to the point, on and keeps it in. Back to Wedman again. Looks like Wedman's got a magnet on the stick. Wedman back to Shinnick, and a big glove save on Shinnick. Shakopee's still got a minute 3 left on this penalty. 5:05 left in the period. Collins back to Schuler. Schuler, long shot, glove down by the goaltender, and there's going to be another face-off. Knutson back to Carlson. Carlson patted away. Collins battles down, and that's going to be kept in for a second. And Schuler's brought down there. Back up to Knutson. Knutson exits the zone to Collins. Collins back to Knutson. Knutson's going to drop it in. And that's going to be brought all the way down. 25 seconds left on the power play for Shakopee. Cam Carlson turns it back. Cam Carlson gets tripped, and there's going to be another penalty called on Prior Lake. 4:16 left, and Shakopee's going to go on a 5-on-3 here for at least 15 seconds. Nelson to Esslinger. Esslinger back to the point to Anand. Anand back to Ganeri. Shakopee's looking to put icing on the cake there, and that one had eyes. Ganeri just got tipped aside. Long shot. Back in the corner. Toe check. Toe check. Back to Ganeri. Ganeri, another long shot. Tipped wide by Esslinger. Esslinger holds it in. And that's going to be forced out back the other way. Toe check, carries, toe check up to Anand. Anand going to cross the blue, dump it in with toe check, forechecking, and Nelson on her left. That's batted around, kept in by Anand. Anand just drops it back down to toe check. Toe check, looking to play down low, back to Anand. Anand, long shot. Picked up by Nelson. Nelson tries to fire one. Tochak tries to fire one. And it's picked back off by Prior Lake. Prior Lake coming back the other way. And Nelson holds it in. Nelson. And that's going to be forced all the way down with 46 left on the power play. Malone banks it back out to, that is Ganeri. Ganeri, long pass. Looking to get John Choi. But it's tipped by Esslinger. Holly leaves it for Ganeri. Ganeri turns it back. Ganeri has room. Ganeri looks to get John Choi. John Choi cutting through the middle. John Choi carries it across the blue. Loses control, and it's picked up by Holly. Holly walks it in. Long shot. Wedman was there for the tip, and it whistled past. Wedman fires one, low, stick to side. Turn back. Shinnick tried to feed the slot, and it's picked off, and it's going to be forced all the way down for an icing. 2:08 left in the period. 1-0 Shakopee. Shakopee's come back hard from 8 shots in 2 to 23 in just the 3 periods. A net gain of 15 shots this period, and it looked like they got a talking to in the locker room. Brigman on the face-off, and it's chipped back out, picked off by Knutson. Knutson walks it down back to Brigman, and turned back the other way. Knutson tries the poke check, and it's brought out of the zone by Prior Lake with 1:50 left in the third. Holly pushed her player off the puck, and Cam Carlson cuts in there. Telejohn looking to get it out. Knutson grabs position, dumps her player, and gets it out of the zone. Here comes Prior Lake, cutting it back. Telejohn lifts a stick. Long shot, and it's saved by Malone, with Knutson coming in, protecting her goaltender, with 1:20 left in the game. There it goes. Collins picks up the loose puck. She's going to exit the zone. And it's dropped in deep by Collins with 1:09 left in the period. Here comes Nelson. Nelson coming around the net. Nelson fires one on net. Oh, and that's just wide. And it's kept in by Shakopee. And here comes Prior Lake's looking to get, Collins tips it just wide. Picked up by Nelson. Nelson kept in by Schuler. Here comes Nelson. And it comes back the other way. Prior Lake's got goaltender coming off the ice. And Shakopee long shot, big pad save by Malone. And around the net it goes. 10 seconds left. Empty net at the other end. Back on front. Shot. Commotion. And that's going to do it. Shakopee gets away with one here. They're slow to start, but the third period they won, and that's going to do it for the game.